Hi everyone, welcome to the visual guide for Eden's Gate Resurrection, also known as E1N. This is the first new 8-man raid made available by patch 5.01 in Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers. Eden in my prime, I don't think I could have shed light on any virtuous puns for this intro. Maybe as I shift into old age I'm letting all of my vices change me. My name is Mistech and I'll be your raid guide. The first thing to note is that the wall around the platform is incredibly lethal. Avoid it at all costs. Spear of Paradise will target the primary target for a double hit of damage. Cooldown and heal through this as necessary. Eden's Gravity will deal very high raid-wide AoE damage. Healers beware. The first Vice and Virtue attack will mark up 4 players with these AoE circles. Affected players will need to move away and avoid overlapping. These markers will leave behind puddles that must be avoided. Eden's Flare is a room-wide donut attack with the only safe zone in melee range. All players will need to move in to avoid this damage. This next Vice and Virtue will tether both tanks and target them with these orange markers. Soon after, massive line AoE attacks will blast in the direction of each tank. To handle this, have the tank stand in such a way that they're not overlapping with anyone else. Periodically, the boss will teleport to a corner, turn towards the center, and begin to cast Pure Light. All players will need to move behind the boss at this time to avoid the incoming massive AoE blast in front of the boss. Be super careful not to touch that wall. The boss will then return to the center and cast Delta Attack. This is a multiple AoE attack that essentially forces players to spread their circle AoE markers while avoiding the static ground line and point blank AoEs around the boss. This AoE pattern forms 4 safe areas on the platform, so spread to each as necessary. When the boss casts Dimensional Shift, expect high raid-wide damage and the platform changing. You'll notice a number of orbs spawn around the outer edge. The boss will cast Pure Beam and spawn another 4 orbs at cardinal points around the boss that will blast across the platform. The orbs around the edge will then begin to target players with long line AoE attacks. At the same time, the boss will cast Paradise Lost, which will place AoE circles on the ground underneath players. The entire raid will need to carefully maneuver around all of these AoEs as they spawn. Getting hit by these will deal damage and place a stacking vulnerability up debuff on you. The boss will again teleport to a corner, face the center, and cast another Pure Light. All while dodging the same AoEs, players will need to make their way to the corner to stand behind the boss before the attack goes off. Once this blast goes off, the boss will return to the center, cast another Dimensional Shift, and return the platform to normal. Fragger Maximus will deal high raid-wide damage and blast the platform into space. 2 proximity-based damage markers will appear in the center of the platform, and the group will need to move to the north and south edge to minimize damage. 2 Guardians of Paradise will spawn and should be picked up by the 2 tanks. These will deal raid-wide damage and slice at each tank, dealing high damage. Healers and tanks beware. You can stack these adds on top of each other and AoE them down as quickly as possible. Once the adds are down, you're free to run to your local coffee shop and grab some refreshments while this unskippable cutscene plays. Eventually, the raid will return to the original platform and the encounter will continue. From this point on, all of the mechanics you've seen so far, with the exception of the Fragger Maximus phase, will repeat, including those specific to each Dimensional Shift mini-phase. This fight is all about handling the multitude of AoE attacks in turn. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. Up next, we'll move up into Eden's Gate Descent. As always, thanks for watching. Till next time.